Welcome to the Graybeard Chronicles podcast. Your hosts, Brian Halstead and Kevin Harkins, are two gray-bearded patriots who love God, their family and friends, and their country. The Graybeards are here to inspire, inform, and educate you on a myriad of topics they are passionate about. Brian and Kevin have a strong desire to share this with you to help you live your best life. Sit back and enjoy this amazing podcast as the Graybeards pass along the wisdom of the ages.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. I'm Brian Halstead.
And I'm Kevin Harkins.
And Kevin, we're here to pass along some wisdom of the ages. What the heck does that mean?
We're not perfect, but we do have gray beards. And that means we've got some significant life experience, some life lessons, and some perspectives that are worthy of passing along.
Well, I think that sums it up nicely. Let's get to it. Kevin, what's going on, sir? Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm well. How the fuck are you?
Well, there's a greeting that I don't get every time.
Right. How the fuck are you?
I'm doing fucking awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he responded in kind. I like it.
Yeah. All is well.
Good.
Things are good.
Good. Have you recovered from that ass whipping you put on me on the golf course the other day?
Whew. The way you started that, wasn't that bad. You were all right.
Wasn't that good either. Hey, if you play once every 2 years, what do you expect, right?
How do you define success on the golf course?
You go out there and have a good time.
Okay. Well then,
right? It was absolutely a successful event. I'm not saying that, but now if we were keeping score and that actually mattered, then but it might not have been so successful. But
he had some good shots.
I think it certainly checked the box for having an outstanding time.
Yep.
Definitely got to do it again.
Let's see. There was a couple quite memorable shots that you made, but my fave of yours was he was probably 10 feet off the green. Yeah, was it 10? Between 5 and 10 feet off the green. And I think you putted it, right? You putted on, or did you chip it? I can't remember.
Yeah, on that par 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty close to the edge of the green. It was within a few feet, but yeah.
Okay, let's say call it 5 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he putted from off the green, up and over and across the ridge and into the hole.
To grandmother's house we go. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Little birdie on that par 3.
You're one and only.
It was outstanding.
And that's all you need is one to keep you coming back for more.
That's right. That is exactly right. That's what they say. Just one good shot and it'll make you come back again.
A couple good shots.
Yeah. Endure the rest of the abuse.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun to spend time and enjoy the beautiful day and always in the great outdoors.
Yeah, amen to that.
I got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
This is
that tone and that posture caused me to feel a little defensive.
No.
Go ahead, fire away.
This is a real question. If you were like captured by, somebody, and they put you in a cave, and they gave you a choice. You couldn't leave this cave, and you were going to be in there for 10 years, and you had a choice. You could either pick Shakespeare that they were going to play over the speakers in your cave, or classical music. But once you made the decision, that was it. You had to listen to this for the next 10 years in the cave by yourself. What would you choose?
At what volume?
Enough to hear it, but not enough to drive you crazy. This is not make you go mad music. This is just, it's there in the background and it never goes away. Day, night, all the time, it's playing.
Yeah, I'd probably pick classical music.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I like music in general. There's certain types I don't really care for, but classical music is something I could definitely tolerate.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Why? What's the punchline?
There's no punchline. I'm
Come on. I know there's a punchline.
No, there isn't. Et tu, Brute? You don't like all that?
What would you? What would you?
I would definitely pick Shakespeare.
Would you?
Yeah, 100%. Just because the classical music would be good for about an hour, but I got 10 years of this stuff. I mean, at least on the Shakespeare plays, I could memorize them. This is going to come full circle. It's nothing big and fancy. It's just I was thinking about quotes that I like, and one of the most quotable human beings in the history of recorded, the recorded word is William Shakespeare. He's a lot out there. He's not. I don't have him on my five today.
Yeah.
But
I don't either. I actually have several that are like unknown, but I thought they were really cool. So
he said this, by the way. I wrote some of them down. Et tu, Brute, to be or not to be. That's Shakespeare. To thine own self be true. You probably knew that one. But this one I didn't know, and I'm wondering if you knew out there. The course of true love never did run smooth.
What they want to know out there is what the hell we're talking about tonight.
I know. Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Because we're kind of beating around the bush on that one, aren't we?
Yeah, that's all right. We do that a lot.
We're talking about quotes. We're talking about cool shit that other people have said that you can learn stuff from.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have already adopted that philosophy in your own life, but there's a lot of cool quotes that float around out there from very well-known people, and then there's lots I think that are just from unknowns or from little-known people, and still very, very profound. And so Kevin and I challenged one another to go find 5 quotes, and we were going to have a discussion on why we, what it was about that quote that we liked, why we picked it, and just talk through it. So that's what we're doing.
And where is the wisdomosity in these quotes, and how can we use them?
Yeah.
And I, like you said, maybe before we start recording, but maybe after we started, doesn't matter. I could do the same thing, 5 different times and come with 5 different quotes each time.
Oh, no doubt.
Still not even come close.
Yeah, it didn't take long to assemble the ones that I wanted to use for this, and it was like as soon as we put the energy out there, I didn't go back and find quotes that I've used historically or things that I'm really familiar with. These are all new ones that just came across my desk, if you will, right, as a result of putting that out there that's what we were going to talk about. So I think they're pretty cool.
I look forward to hearing yours.
Yeah, I heard I didn't hear it. I read a joke today. It's kind of your cave story reminded me of it.
Huh.
Yeah, you want to hear it?
Yeah.
So this guy hadn't lived a really, really good life.
Is this the first time we've told a joke on the podcast? This might be the first time.
Maybe. I don't know. So this guy, he didn't really live all that quality of a life when it comes to, spirituality and so on. And so he didn't ascend, if you know what I mean. He ended up going the other direction.
Huh.
And he was greeted by the keeper of that domain, the devil himself. And he was asked a question by the devil, and basically told, here's what we're going to do here is we're going to go down this hallway, and you're going to be exposed to several different things, and you have to make a decision of what one of those activities you want to spend the rest of eternity doing. And so they start walking down this hallway, and this guy's looking around, and he really is not seeing anything that's all that exciting to him until they get to this room. And as he starts to walk by, he was just kind of and then it caught his eye, and he stopped and he turned, and there's this guy sitting on a couch watching TV, and there's a cheerleader there giving him a blowjob.
Are we really telling this joke?
We are, and well, I am. and so he's like, "Is that really happening?" And devil's like, "Yeah, that's really happening." He says, "Well, that's what I want to do." And devil says, "Are you sure?" He said, "Absolutely." So devil walks over, taps the cheerleader on the shoulders, and said, "You're done, sweetheart. I found your replacement."
There you go.
Yeah. So we told that one.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. Be very specific with your wishes. Yeah.
Oh, the twisted web we weave. There's another Shakespearean quote.
Yeah.
Isn't that? Yeah, I'm kind of working them all in.
I don't think we've ever talked about blowjobs on a podcast, but
no, we haven't.
Let's go ahead and check that box off.
I did not see that one coming. I did not. Oh man, that was a
really. That's what she said.
Oh Lord.
All right.
So classical music. I would not have guessed that. No way, man. Shakespeare all the way. Just think, you got 10 years. You could memorize probably all of his plays.
Right.
Then you could walk out.
Oh, you get to walk out and engage with society again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed that part. I didn't ask enough questions.
Oh, all right.
Because, I mean, if you're not going to engage with society again, you don't feel the need to educate yourself anymore, then why not just listen to music and have a good time?
All right. Well, Shakespeare's musical, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
now,
anyway.
now you got me wanting to listen to classical music.
Okay.
It's been a minute, so I might have to check that out.
Chopin.
Yeah.
Schumann. Mozart. Bach. What's your?
I don't have a favorite, and I'm not that knowledgeable in the world of classical music. So
right. I'm pretty much put everything out there that I know. So
I only recognize 2 or 3 of those. All right. So, anyways, how are we going to do this tonight? You've already thrown out a couple of things. What's your first quote?
You're gonna make me go first.
I am.
All right. I have 5.
Well, I'm not going to make you. I just suggested.
I have 5 good quotes, and
right.
I wouldn't call them my favorite quotes.
Right.
I would call them quotes that, for some reason, in the last couple days, have popped to mind as, I don't know, just important to me right now for some reason. They just sort of. And I wondered if there was a theme, but we can revisit that after we talk about. All right. This is a good one. This is from Paulo Coelho, the author. He wrote the book The Alchemist, which I fell in love with and have now read about 20 times. I love that book. And he wrote, this is from a different book that he wrote, but here you go. You ready?
I am ready.
Some of my quotes are a little bit long, though, so I got to read them. Making a decision is only the beginning. When someone makes a decision, it's like they are jumping into a river with a strong current, which will carry them to places they never dreamed of when they made the decision. And I know I've probably paraphrased this quote before on the podcast,
right?
But it popped to mind because every single day in my life, I am reminded of this. When you make a decision to do something and you see the river in front of you, I probably even said words very similar to this. You can see what's there. You can see the rocks and the water and how wide and how deep, and you can kind of see what's down there as far as you can see.
Right.
But that's it. You jump in and you're gone. You're going down that river and you have no idea. Once you get past as far as you can see what's coming next. And that's both scary, and it's amazing, and it's motivational, and it's frightening, and it's all of these things together. But that's one of the cool things about truly making a decision, because once you jump into that river, there's no going back to where you were. It's over. You're being swept away down, and you're going to places. It's just a great metaphor for life. And I think for people who are not willing to get out of their comfort zone, they never get to experience this. They're just going to make decisions about things. They're never going to jump in the river. They're just going to kind of walk along the bank,
right,
and experience it, and they don't get that thrill. I don't know. I love that.
Yeah, I like it. It reminds me of I don't remember the exact quote, but ultimately it had to do with the same kind of concept, right? If you once you decide to take the leap, the parachute will appear. You got to trust in the direction that you want to head. It's actually, I think, kind of similar to one of the quotes here that I noted from.
Wait, don't go to yours yet.
Okay.
Because you just said something that I wanted to ask you about.
All right.
I've never heard that quote before. Once you make the decision to jump,
just jump.
The parachute will appear. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Huh. Do you remember where you heard? I like that. I do like it.
I don't know if I remember where I don't think I do remember where that came from.
All right. Because that sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You're jumping without a parachute. Woo.
I know.
That's a little different than jumping in a river.
You know Ann Bird, right?
Right.
We've had Ann on the podcast.
Right.
I want to say it's maybe in conversations with her is where that came from, but I think so. I'm not 100% sure though.
All right. I like it.
She'll have to call me on that.
Actually, I like that. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Anyways, so Martin Luther King quote, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step."
Okay.
And it's that caused me to think about, our conversations we've had about starting this podcast and how, everything's got to be perfect. You got to know exactly what you're doing. You got to make sure this is right and this is right and this, and when it's perfect, then we'll go ahead and move forward. Yeah. If you're waiting for that, you're standing in the same place, and that's exactly where you're going to be forever. You got to be willing to take that first step.
You're right.
Jump in the damn river.
Jump in the damn river. Take the damn step.
Yep.
I wonder how many others of these that we're going to talk about end up being very similar. We did not compare notes at all. We did not talk about a single thing. So the next four may be completely different, but those two were eerily similar.
Yes, I would agree.
In concept. All right, you ready for number 2?
Yes, sir.
It's another one I've used before, but I'm going to use again because I think it's really important in terms of how you choose to spend your time and what you spend your time on. That's the theme. It is as easy to do something big as it is to do something small. Reach for a fantasy worthy of your pursuit. And this also applies to pretty much anything you choose to do in life. And you can choose to do the small thing, and even the smallest things can totally consume you. And when I say small in this case, I'm talking about, I think, mostly things of importance versus things that are not important.
Right.
You can spend a whole bunch of time working on things that are not important, or you can spend a whole bunch of time working on things that are important.
Right.
Something small versus something big. And so I just love the idea of, if you're going to spend the time, why not go for it?
Yeah.
Why not go big? Go big or go home.
Yeah. And spend the time wisely, right? Moving the needle towards some type of end goal, some result that you desire to achieve.
Yeah. What do you think?
I like it.
It's as easy to do something big as it is to do something small. Reach for a fantasy worthy of your pursuit. So yeah, stretch yourself, put yourself out there, and go for the big thing. If you got to spend time doing something, might as well go for it.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
Very good. All right, you ready for another one?
Yes.
All right, this one, I thought this one was pretty cool, and I just happened to come across it, and it kind of spoke to me. Some people aren't speaking to you because they owe you an apology.
Huh.
Don't know where that came from. Unknown. But just happened to come across that thing, and I thought, you know what? That's true. How many times have you had a disagreement with someone, or somebody, said or did something that you didn't particularly care for, and you called them on it, and silence from that point forward. No response. I think in some ways, and certainly in a scenario like that, silence is guilt. And
guilt from the other party, you mean? Is that what you're talking about in this case?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Have you ever it's funny how your mind goes to different places, because yours went to, clearly you're thinking about some circumstances that have occurred throughout your journey where something like that happened and those people went silent. And
right.
And you didn't really place it anywhere until maybe this quote came along and you go, there we go.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But have you ever felt like you did the same thing, where you did something that maybe you shouldn't have, and therefore you went silent as well?
I'm sure that's been the case. I can't think of a specific scenario.
Yeah.
And absolutely, I'm sure that's been the case, because I think that's why it rang true to me, because I could see that happening, and I feel like I've felt that in other situations. But I'm sure I've done that.
Yeah. Me too. I can think of cases, and I'm gonna get better. It also reminds me of one of the 12 steps in Alcoholics Anonymous, which I've not been to, but I actually love their 12 steps. I think they are valuable for life in general, not just for alcoholics.
I'm pretty sure you haven't been there. And if you have, then I'm a really bad influence on you, because I just poured you a drink a little while ago.
Yes, you did. No, but one of the steps that they have in the 12 steps, and I'm just going to put it in my own words. It's perfectly stated in their canons. but it is something about you go to the people that you've hurt and offended over time, and you own up to it, and you apologize.
Right.
And you try to make amends, although you expect nothing in return. You're going to them and you're saying, I did you wrong. I treated you poorly. I made a lot of mistakes. I own it. I'm sorry. And I just want you to know that I know it, and I put that out there to you. I ask for your forgiveness. I don't expect that you'll give it to me. I hope you will, but I just wanted to. So you're reaching out. You're going more than. You kind of remind the same concept.
Yeah. I've also heard that it's beneficial. Let's say you don't want to actually confront the person. I've heard folks talk about going through the exercise of writing the apology out, and so you're getting it out of your head and off of your heart. Yeah. And you're putting it down on paper, and it may be something that you give to them, or it might not be. But the fact that you got it out can be beneficial.
Was therapeutic all by itself. Yeah. All right. Well, glad you dealt with that.
All right. What else? What you got?
Is it mine?
I don't know. I think it's your turn. Yeah, because we were talking about the apology thing.
All right, mine. This one is another one that I totally own. Failure is the best teacher.
How many times have we talked about that?
Yeah.
And the fact that we need to retrain our society to focus on celebrating failures and not chastising people for it, and calling, especially when you're dealing with children, because I think we do a really good job of teaching kids that it's bad to fail because of the way our reward system works in schools and so on.
Right. Yeah, and I think you've actually said exactly what needed to be said in immediate follow-up to that quote, and that is, some people fail and it's self-punishment. It's, oh my God, I failed, and they start on this terrible downward spiraling journey that causes them to crash and burn. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about take the time to stop, realize the failure, study the failure, think about the failure, think about how you can learn from the failure.
Realize that what you actually failed at was a success because you figured out that's not the right way to do it.
Let it be that teacher.
Yeah.
There you go. So, and it's so true. I think about in life, I think about in business, I think about in my physical health. I mean, all of it. Failure is the best teacher. That's the one. That hurts. And you're like, wow, I didn't like that. Yeah. I'm gonna do something to try to avoid that in the future.
Nice.
I know you've had that issue a number of times, but it's your turn.
All right. You ready? You ready for one? All right. So I absolutely love this one because I believe this in my heart and do my damnedest to practice this every single day. All right. So here it is. Fall asleep with nothing but love and forgiveness in your heart. What's meant for you will be for you tomorrow or the day after. Trust your journey. Rest your soul. Yeah?
That's awesome. Can you read that again?
Sure. Fall asleep with nothing but love and forgiveness in your heart. What's meant for you will be for you tomorrow or the day after. Trust your journey. Rest your soul. And that's a quote from a lady that I think I've actually seen and heard about before, but it wasn't familiar to me. Her name is Najwa Zebian, and she's a Lebanese-Canadian activist, author, speaker, educator. And I don't know anything about her. I don't know if she's how controversial she is or anything, but I certainly like what she had to say there.
I like that quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that running through your head very often at night? I mean, do you have like a routine that you go through where you?
I think a routine to a degree. The biggest thing is, you just. I think it's important to lay your head down and end the day on a positive note, right? So don't go to bed angry with anyone. Don't go to bed with something troubling you. Just ease your mind. And practice that gratitude and forgiveness, and just go to sleep at peace.
Yeah.
Each night, because you'll wake up that way.
Right.
And I just think it's a good way to be.
Yeah, I like it. I like that whole idea of going to bed at night with all the right thoughts going through your head, because I think that just sort of, as you move into your subconscious phase, as you know, when you're sleeping and dreaming and thinking subconsciously, it's very, very helpful to you. So yeah,
there's probably some studies out there, and I haven't seen or heard any, but there's probably studies about the types of dreams that you have and so on based on your current mental state when you go to sleep.
No doubt. No doubt about it. Yeah, so implanting all those good ideas and allowing them to penetrate and affect what you think about and dream about all night long is wonderful.
Yeah.
I've got 2 left. Everybody's heard both of them at one point or another, depending on, certainly people who've listened to all of our podcasts have heard these before.
All right.
But that's why they're here now, because they were so good that they showed up, and so they're showing up again. Here's number 4 for me. Given enough time, I can beat anyone at anything because of my consistent, disciplined good habits and the compounded effect they have over time. I just love that idea, that if I just stick with it, if I establish the right habits, the good habits in my life, no matter what area of life we're talking about, and I repeatedly do them day after day after day, just getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. You wake up one day and you are the very best at what you do. And it just brings to me this vision of where you can end up if you stick with it. Yeah. I love that. I love that, and I think I believe it too.
Yeah,
I believe it.
That's very cool.
Yeah. There you go.
Yes, and you have definitely called that out on previous episodes. So very cool.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
I like this one too. Do not regret growing older. It is a privilege denied to many.
That's a good one too.
Right?
Yeah.
So don't bitch about the aches and pains that you have, and the fact that you can't maybe do this as good as you once could, and so on and so forth. Enjoy the fact that you can think back on those years because you've lived them and you're still here.
Yeah. Yep. I like it. I've not heard that quote before, and I like it very much. You remind me of my childhood when I was a youngin', probably 10 years old and younger. My mother's father, my grandfather on my mother's side, was this guy that I idolized. I didn't get to know my grandfather on my father's side because he died within a year of my birth. And so I never knew him. But I knew my grandfather on my mother's side, and he was just this amazing guy. Great sense of humor, healthy as could be, strong, just fun guy to watch and to be around.
Right.
And I remember thinking as a little kid, when I get old, I want to be like that guy. And it made me think very positively about growing old. And yeah, he had all the normal aches and pains and issues that you have with growing old, but never complained a whip about any of it, and just lived a happy, joyous, fulfilled life. And that, of course, propagated to everyone around him.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So it's the same thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. What you got? What's next?
It can be good to grow old. This is my last one. It's long. It's like a paragraph.
Yeah, I think it can be good to grow old. I'll let you know when it starts happening to me.
This is one that I read probably within the first 20 podcasts that we did. And I liked it very much. I still like it to this day. It's very motivational, inspirational. It will make you want to get up and do things. You ready?
I'm ready.
I wonder if I should get out of the way here because you might go do something by the time I'm done reading. Okay. So, topic is commitment. Never mind that. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, There is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. The moment one definitely commits, then providence moves to. All sorts of things happen to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events come forth from that decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no man could have dreamed would have come his way. Whatever you do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius and power and magic in it. Begin it now. There you go.
Yeah, the whole time you're reading that, I'm thinking about the earlier one, jumping into the river, or jumping off the cliff. The parachute will appear.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. You know, they all kind of
Everything
wrap up in that same subject matter. That's pretty cool.
We should analyze this whole sort of theme that we came up with on this list of podcasts, and
Yeah.
maybe, that's Goethe. He's a German philosopher. I forgot exactly who he is.
Yeah,
but
you've quoted him before.
Yeah. Anyway, I love that quote, and it's another one where you just got to jump in and go for it in life. But the key is, so here's the thing. It's easy to start anything, right? It's easy. Everybody has good ideas, and not everybody, but a good number of people actually start to take action on their good ideas.
Right.
Not very many people stick with it through thick and thin.
Yeah.
That's the difference right there between those who make it and those who don't. So.
Yeah, and oftentimes those initial challenges are just I think a way to test and see how committed you are.
Yeah.
You know, how bad do you really want this? How strong is your why?
Mm-hmm. How strong is your why?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice. All right, here's one from Joel Osteen. Love Joel Osteen.
Okay.
Cool guy. Enjoy watching him. Anyways, the greatest gift you can give someone is your time, your attention, your love, your concern. And I know we've talked about giving time as being a gracious gift. I just thought that was cool that all that's kind of wrapped into one quote.
Yeah. But he ends with your concern.
Yep.
Because concern has a higher degree of commitment to that, whatever that issue is. I'm concerned about this, and if you go to that level, that means you're probably willing to take some extra steps to do whatever needs to be done in that circumstance.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Is that it?
That's it. Those are my.
So I have a bonus one. Because I just couldn't let this one go. I saw this while I was looking for other stuff, and this one just, like I said, I couldn't let it go. This one not as long as yours, but
do I get another
not as long
one?
as that last one you just did there, but you can have another one if you want to. So here it is. Self-control is strength. Calmness is mastery. You have to get to the point where your mood doesn't shift based on insignificant actions of someone else. Don't allow others to control the direction of your life. Don't allow your emotions to overpower your intelligence.
Well, there's a lot in that one.
Yeah.
Woo.
Right? Now you see why I couldn't
Right.
let it go, right? I was like, man, we got to talk about this.
There's like 5 different very significant things in there. All right, can I look at it? Self-control is strength. Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Calmness is mastery. I like that too.
Yeah.
You have to get to the point where your mood doesn't shift based on insignificant actions of someone else. Yeah, every single one of these could be like a whole course.
You got to be able to catch yourself when it happens, right?
Right.
So I think that's the first part of it, is realizing when it occurs and being able to pump the brakes.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Interesting exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could definitely do this on many different occasions and have some good conversation about it.
So I may have said this too, because all my conversations come together, and they most of them come out on this podcast. But this last quote reminded me of a thought that I was having about Tiger Woods from, I don't know, a year or so ago, or maybe a little more than a year ago, when he won the Masters. Was it the Masters or one of the majors? He won it.
Right.
Nobody expected he'd ever win another one. And we started thinking about, or I started thinking about his life, his journey, his ups and downs and all arounds. And Lord knows he's had some incredible ups and some incredible downs, both.
Right.
And here he was after the thorough embarrassment that he went through with the whole, after all of his divorce and all of the things that were associated with that. And I don't want to get in and really talk about that. But this was what was remarkable to me about that. Somehow he was able to block all that out and just get back to playing golf, what I'm good at.
Right.
And get himself to the point where he could be psychologically first and then physically second in a position where he could play well enough to win another major tournament with the best golfers in the world, to tune all that out. And the part about don't allow your mood to shift based on significant actions of someone else. All the voices in your head, all of the press.
Yeah, it was all about his mental strength.
Right.
Certainly his physical capability to play golf plays a part of it.
Yeah.
For me, though, it's all about his mental strength. That's what put him on the board to begin with, and that's what kept him on the board and allowed him to come back.
Right. Yeah, and you talk about a guy who had every right and reason to go into that cave and stay there and never come out after all that he was found to be involved with. And yet he did. He tuned out the voices and came out anyway to the joy and pleasure and appreciation of so many people who people in America particularly love to give second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chances.
Yeah.
We're a forgiving people. We really are.
And that's certainly one approach, right? So, coming back like that, another approach is owning it and celebrating it. Yeah, this is what I did, and this is how I did it. And I'm going to write a freaking step-by-step guide in case anybody else wants to do it.
Well, own it, I see, but I'm not sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think
yes, I get your point.
We're judging to a degree, his actions based on our values and so on. There may be others that have values that are completely fine with that, and actually, encourage what he's doing or what he did and so on.
All right. Well,
just a
there
different way to think about it, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So that was a remarkable accomplishment in my view when I interpreted in my own head that what he did, and your quote reminded me of it. So, yeah, thanks for doing it.
You're welcome. Yeah, this was cool. We should do this again.
We will, I'm sure.
The quote thing. The podcast thing.
Right.
We're going to do this again next week.
Right.
Not in this same setting though.
Right.
We're going to have to do it remotely next week, unless we set a date in between now and my departure time to.
I'm good with the remote if you are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think you got the technical skills to pull it off.
I don't know about that. I won't have all this stuff with me. I'll be traveling much lighter.
All good.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
No doubt. I do as well.
As always.
All right. I got a quote.
Yeah.
One last quote.
Uh-oh.
You ready for it?
I'm ready.
No matter who you are, where you are, or what you're doing, make sure between this podcast and the next, you take time to enjoy the ride.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Graybeard Chronicles. Please subscribe so you'll receive notification when new episodes are available. To learn more about the Graybeards, visit their website, graybeardchronicles.com.